All right, we had a chance earlier today to catch up with one of your former friends, Aaron Matthews, hitting coach, who was joined today a little bit earlier with Caroline Frolic.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined now by Aaron Matthews, the Vancouver Canadians hitting coach. Now, what exactly does that entail?
Well, it entails a lot. You know, obviously we get new hitters every year in this league, and we have obviously old hitters from last year, you know, that have been in this league before. So, you know, there's so many things. There's early work. There's getting to know your guys. There's you know, especially the new guys, the new drafted guys, you know, learning, you know, what they like to do, their drills, things like that, personal relationships, you know, getting to know the player, you know, building trust with that player. I think that's a huge thing, especially in this league and in this development process, and is being a hitting coach.
Yeah, you're one of their first coaches as a pro. Now, what is the first thing that you look for when you first see a guy swing?
You know, honestly, if he can stay through the ball and he's on time.
It's as easy as that. Now, what kind of drills do you do with these guys?
Anything from front toss drills to tee drills, you know, backside toss drills, side toss drills, you know, anything that they would like to do, honestly, and it works for them.
Now, without naming any names, what kind of improvements have you seen at this point, we're in the second half of the season, from when you first met them?
You know what, being the person that they are, you know, growing in their development process, you know, through their work, through their drill work, through their batting practice, through the games, being able to compete at the plate, honestly.
Well, thank you so much. Looks like you're doing a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, and let's hit tonight.
Let's do it. All right, back to you guys. Thank you.
Caroline Frolic with Aaron Matthews. Ball chopped out towards the second baseman. Brown fields it all in one motion over to first base, and they're able to get Tanner Morris. We're back to the top of the order for the Vancouver Canadians here at the top of the fourth, who have not really shown a lot of offense. They're still looking for their first hit in this baseball game. Jesus Lopez steps into the box. Catcher's 0 for 1. Ground out to second base in his only plate appearance. Lopez was 0 for 3 in last night's game. 0 for 4 the game before that. So again, he's in a bit of a slump. 0 for 9. His last hit was in the 5th inning 3 nights ago, and it was a 2-run home run that helped the Canadians to a 9-0 victory over Eugene.
Rob, did you get a chance to listen to Bill Walton?
Oh my God. Who hasn't listened to that?
As a baseball analyst?
Ball into right field. This could be trouble. Will it pick up the chalk? It doesn't. It just went to the right of the right field line, and unfortunately that just means it's a long strike, 1-2. But yeah, I wondered if it was staged. I know he's kind of quote unquote out there, but that was really out there.
Sorry I can't be your Bill Walton, man.
Well, we got time, and you're in the right province to be my Bill Walton, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Walton, of course, was waxing poetically with the Chicago White Sox broadcasters, and it was quite the couple minutes of soundbite, that's for sure. Here's a 1-2 from the right-hander. It misses, and the count goes to 2-2. The only guy I think I've ever met where I didn't control an interview, where I really genuinely felt like I had lost control, was Bill Spaceman Lee. Ball that he swung on and missed, and that produces the 4th strikeout of the baseball game for Luc Chevrier, who will not be outdone in this game by Jared DeCesare. Both right-handers simply trading scoreless frames to this point, but here's Philip Clark.
And you're pretty much seeing from both guys hitting their spots, nothing overpowering their pitching, and I know I'm going to keep saying that word tonight, pitching. I just love guys who can pitch. And, everyone loves the overpowering stuff. I like it too, but when a guy can put it together and pitch and hit their spots, that to me is an art, and I love seeing stuff like that.
Well, in an industry where now it's about spin rate and power, you're right. It's, I don't want to call it a lost art, but it's maybe a little more appreciated when you see it.
Yeah, and I'd go as far as calling it a lost art. No doubt about it. I think it's a lost art. There's just, to me, I love seeing, not that I like seeing games that are 0-0 or when the Vancouver Canadians are getting no hit so far through 4 innings, but you like to see guys who you like to make guys believe like, hey, my 88, 89, 90, 91, if I spot it, it works. And it works against professional hitters. You see a guy like, who's a good example of a guy who doesn't have overpowering stuff? Kyle, the guy from the Cubs. Skinny guy.
Kyle Hendricks?
Hendricks, yeah. Yeah. Not overpowering, not really overpowering, but man, he can pitch. And he's doing it at the big league level.
I like him. Here's coming back all the way from a 3-0 count. Now the count is 3-2. Pitch fouled off.
I went a little blank right there on that name.
Hey, that's all right, man. You trust me. I do that plenty of times. Boise and Vancouver, geographically, the two furthest teams apart in the Northwest League. It's a 12-hour bus ride to get from point A to point B. Another pitch fouled off. Boise actually didn't have to do the full 12-hour junket. They stopped in through Hillsboro, which is a suburb of Portland, Oregon. Their record on the road is horrendously bad. They have done very well at home, but their numbers on the road are not for the weak of heart. There's a ball lofted into shallow right center. It drops. So first base hit of the game for the Vancouver Canadians. The former Commodore of Vanderbilt's got himself a base hit, and it will bring up Will Robertson. Canadians have been waiting, while their fan base has been waiting desperately for something to get excited about, and they finally get the base hit that they so covet.
I had a chance to sit down and talk to Philip Clark and actually Will Robertson today too before the game, and I asked him, what's been the biggest adjustment that you guys had to make, that you guys have made as a professional? And one of the things Clarky said was how he never realized how individualized the game of baseball is. And he didn't mean by stats or anything like that or being an individual type sport, but how from getting to the weight room and how everything's specific to you now. And it's not waking up and trying to go to class, go do homework. It's actual baseball is my job. I wake up and this is what I do. And you know, and that's one of the things he mentioned, that he's still adjusting to it, but at the same time he loves it. And you can tell that both these guys want to get better and they work, and great work ethic. And when you have work ethic, I think that's the key to anything.
You know, the one thing that I will add to that, because I think you're right on the money with it, is over the course of 76 games for a college kid that was just drafted this year, like Philip Clark, punching through those walls that you'll face over the course of the summer. Pitch is low. That's going to allow the runner to try to break for second. Throws on the mark. Is it in time? It was there, but Clark found his way under the tag and gets into second base. Risky play, but you know what? Picked up on the ball and is able to advance 90 feet, and now Philip Clark is in scoring position. The ball was there, but it bounced off of the dirt and went up, and by the time it got from the knee back down to the toe, that was enough time for Philip Clark to find his way into second base.
I also talked to Robertson, and I know he's been scuffling, and they're not used to this because in college there were guys, there were big name guys for their teams. And I asked him, I was like, how do you deal with it? And he said, you know what? I come in and I know I put the work in, and I know eventually it's going to turn around for me. You try to stay away from looking at that scoreboard and that batting average. That's the toughest part. It's right in front of your face. But he's like, I know I come in and I do the work. I know it's going to get better. And I was like, well, that's a great attitude to have, because anytime you have something like that, hey, just come in, just work, and this game will reward you eventually.
I feel like Philip Clark has gotten his second wind in this season. Joined the Canadians about 3 weeks into their campaign, and there was no doubt that you get a guy that's played as long as anybody in college baseball. I mean, Commodores won the NCAA College World Series. Then all of a sudden he's down in Florida getting his physical. He's assigned to Vancouver, and it is high expectations and go. And I think it caught him at about the 20-game mark, but now he's starting to get his stride. Ball that he's ripped down the first base line. That's going to be fair and go all the way into the corner. And Philip Clark's going to come around to score. And it's a stand-up double for the former Creighton Blue Jay. Will Robertson's got the game's first run. A seeing-eye single all the way down the line. Rode that thing like the SkyTrain rail right into the right field corner. And the future of the Blue Jays up by a run. A little bit low and in, and Robertson stays with it and knows right away that he's looking at extra bases. Look at that thing hug the line all the way into the corner. A couple of Boise Hawk pitchers scattering out of the way, and Robertson checks around him. All's well. Canadians are up a run here in the home half of the 4th inning.
And this is how advanced you know these kids are as far as being a professional and all that. I did, again, coming back to Robertson, and I'm sure he's not where he wants to be average-wise and stuff like that. And another thing he mentioned to me was like, hey man, the biggest thing when I go home is, did I get better today? And he did, and he is getting better, he said.
So a couple of different meetings going on right now. One, of course, the pitching coach talking with the starter Luc Chevrier, but Casey Candell, that's the manager for the Canadians, by the way. He's out having a conversation because he thinks that I guess the bullpen down in the right field corner didn't necessarily make any adjustments to get out of the way, and that ball went out of play. Now, if so, that would advance Robertson to third base, and he's trying to educate this base umpire part of me on the ground rules, and Casey realizes it's not going to go his way, so he makes his way back. There's Casey Candell,
one of the
former
best
major leaguers. You're right.
One of the best human beings ever. Holy smokes, he's full of energy, and he is just. If you ever get a chance to have a conversation with him, he is really, really funny.
He's got 100 stories for every one that anybody else would have.
100% he does. But I almost agree with Casey right there. It almost seemed like the right fielder kind of gave up on that ball, and the bullpen just raised their hands, and he's like, I'm going to raise my hand and try and make it a double. And it's smart of him, but at the same time, I think I can see why Casey was arguing that call.
1 ball and no strikes from the right-hander. Here's a ball fouled back into the mesh, 1-1. And I think that was a part of the reason that Robertson slowed up at second, then kind of looked around. If I'm Robertson, I might have just kept running.
Yeah.
But again, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Canadians do get the first run of this baseball game. And you don't want to give up on this inning. Trevor Schwecky's an all-star. A high fly ball fouls back, and the count goes to 1-2. Canadians had 4 all-stars. 1 from the pitching side of things, which of course was Adam Kloffenstein, and a couple of position players. Philip Clark, who just scored minutes ago, Trevor Schwecky in the box, and Yorman Rodriguez, who was recently promoted to Lansing of the Midwest League and left Vancouver as the Northwest League's top hitter as far as batting average. Little dribbler out towards the second baseman. Brown fielded cleanly, throw to first, and the Canadians will strand 1, but they will score 1. It is Will Robertson who gets the game's first RBI. Philip Clark got himself a single, stole second base, and scored on a double from Will Robertson, and that's how we go to the top of the 5th with the Vancouver Canadians leading this one 1-0. As you're watching A&W Vancouver Canadians baseball, and you're doing it tonight right here on the home of the Canadians, Sportsnet 650.